Welcome to Topic 2, Loans, Investments and Annuities. Or in other words, money. This video will focus on nominal interest rates and effective interest rates. Nominal investment rates. Normally they are quoted. The quoted rate is the annual rate. So if they say 7.8%, they mean 7.8% per annum. The quoted rate completely ignores the actual compounding period. So that usually gets mentioned after. So they might quote you by saying 4.8% compounding monthly or 7.2% compounding quarterly. How to convert the nominal rate to the compounding interest rate? Because if your investment is compounding monthly, then you need to reflect that in the rate. You want to know, well, what percentage is that per month or per quarter? So to calculate the rate per period, if it's monthly, divide by 12. If it's quarterly, divide by 4. Fortnightly, divide by 6. Weekly, divide by 52. And daily, divided by 365. Ignore leap years for daily. It's just 365. It's the standard thing. Because to be fair, there are slightly more fortnights than 26 in a year. There are slightly more weeks than 52 in a year. We're just keeping it simple for simple's sake. So, for example, if our nominal rate was 4.8% and we want to know, well, what's that per month? We divide it by 12 and get 0.4. If it was a quarterly rate, if it compounds quarterly, then we would divide by 4 and get 1.2% per quarter. Fortnightly, weekly, and daily follow the same process. So it's very important to acknowledge the compounding period with your rate and convert it to that rate, so that when you're doing further calculations to figure out over a period of time how much your investment grows, you are using the correct rate for the time period. Let's do an example the effective interest rate. The more compounding periods in a year, the greater your investment will grow. So 12% compounding monthly is much better than 12% compounding annually. But how much better? Let's figure it out. So the compounding formula we will use is A equals P, and then in brackets 1 plus R over N to the power of NT. A is the amount you have at the end of the compounding period. P is the principal, the amount you start with. R is your nominal interest rate. N is the number of compounding periods. And T is the number of years that this compounding period will go for. So are you looking at 1 year or 2 years? Or, are you looking at half a year? Therefore, T would be 0.5. So let's just look at $1,000 invested at 12% per annum for 1 year. If it was compounding yearly, then we would just do 1,000 and in brackets 1 plus 12% to the power of 1, which is $1,120. Not bad. If it is compounding monthly, then we do 1,000 plus 12% divided by 12. Now, important. That is 12%. That's not just 12. So when you're calculating, you use a little percentage button. And then to the power of 12 times 1, because there are 12 compounding periods in a year, and we're doing this for 1 year. If you put that in your calculator, you get $1,126.83. You may look at that and go, that's only $6.83 extra, big whoop. And my argument is, yes, but over the same period of time, if you had it compounding annually and I had it compounding monthly, I had $6.83 more than you just for 1 year. Just for $1,000 invested. What if I invested more money? I would get, over the period of time, much more than you. So, do not turn up your nose at what seemingly is a small amount, because ultimately, if you don't want it, I'll cheerfully take it from you. So, the effective interest rate tells us what the actual rate would be if it compounded annually. As we saw on the previous page, we got a little bit more money because it was compounding monthly. So what we want to know is, well, if it was compounding yearly and I got that same amount of money, $1,126.83, what would the effective interest rate be? This is brand new. This is the formula for effective interest rate. This is something I would recommend you write down in your books, put a red box around it, put arrows pointing to it so you can see it clearly and keep coming back to it because it is going to be important. E is effective interest rate. R is the quoted or nominal rate. N is the number of compounding periods in 1 year. Delete. So, for example, on the previous slide, we were doing 12% per annum. What is the effective interest rate therefore? So, substitute in your values and put it into your calculator, and we get 0.1268. Multiply that by 100, so you convert it to a percentage, and you get 12.68% per annum. That would be the effective interest rate.